All right, for those of you that have watched our Building a Tactical and Varmint Rifle, you'll know that learning never stops. A little technique that we've perfected now since we did that last video for you is just the absolute machining of the receiver, eliminating the need to lap the locking lugs when you're done. An important thing that you'll see a lot of people do is obviously machining the back of the locking lugs. This is important. We can either use the bolt in a steady rest driven off of a mandrel in the chuck, or there are special bolt fixtures that allow you to indicate the bolt in and machine the back of the locking lugs. Usually 2 to 3 thousandths is all that's needed to be removed from the back, giving us a perfect flat surface that is perpendicular to the bolt body. Next, we will come in and machine the front face of the lugs, keeping them uniform and square to the rest of the world. Oftentimes now we're going to come in and machine the end of the bolt face. From an aesthetic value, this is important. However, it isn't really necessary, and depending upon the type of extractor that you have in the Remington, whether it is the snap-in extractor or one that is riveted, you do not want to get this underlying lip too thin. We've seen many cases, and it's really a fault of the hand loader, but they will actually pull the end of the bolt face out because they have a stuck case. The riveted extractor, in my opinion, is a much better extractor system, but it did require more labor. Henceforth, I think that was probably the reason why Remington went to the snap-in extractor. But if this is out a lot or you have a machining snafu in the end of the bolt face, just clean up the majority of it, keeping in mind not to machine it too thin. A lot of people are requesting that the bolt face be machined as well. It's an operation that you can do. Be sure and remove the constant tension ejector, and while the bolt is set up in our tooling to machine the back of the lugs, we would also machine the bolt face at that time. After I have squared and true to customer's receiver, I will put the bolt back in the gun, close it back and forth, and then take my depth mic and take a reading from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock across the bolt face to determine how parallel that is to the face of the receiver. If it is within 2 or 3 tenths, that means 2 or 3 ten-thousandths of an inch, I consider that close enough for gun work. Oftentimes somebody will shoot and they'll have primer cratering and not piercing the primers, but loose primer pockets eroding around the firing pin hole. Again, this is another time that you may want to go in and just take a couple of thousandths off of the bolt face. Be careful, use a carbide tip that has a relief that is going to cut underneath the extractor lip. If not, as you bring the cutter into the sides, you're going to hit the extractor and break it and cause a problem. And if it's a riveted type, you may have a hard time finding the new extractor. Now keep in mind, these tips are really for our advanced users who've had a little bit of machining experience and who are already currently truing and blueprinting up Remington 700 actions. For those of you that are new with AGI, these are tips and techniques that you can explain to your gunsmith, again, giving them the edge over the competition. If in doubt, give us a call and we'll be glad to answer those technical questions that you have regarding the proper way to true and blueprint your Remington 700 action. I'm Daryl Holland, and that's your AGI Workbench Tip of the Month.